nurse, naturopath, intuitive, astrologer, harnessing the magical design of your divine astrological blueprint and integrating natural health wisdom to support your mind, body, and spirit so that you can rise in all the ways you desire, merging astrology and health in ways you've never experienced before. I'm Divinely Jennifer, and this is the Juicy Astrology for June 18 to June 24, 2021. Welcome. Hello, loves. A big shout out to those of you who have generously offered me your feedback for these audio and video offerings. I so appreciate the feedback, and I love and appreciate you. I really am cognizant that we are all super busy people. And so I have decided to change up the structure, hello Saturn square Uranus, with what information I provide you so that you can get what you need without having to spend all day listening to my voice. Therefore, for at least the next several weeks, given that the skies are so very busy, I am going to focus the Juicy Astrology on major transits only and those that have the biggest potential to impact your world. Of course, you're always welcome to reach out to me on Instagram or via email at hello@divinelyjennifer.com to ask questions about a particular energy you may be experiencing. You can also always book a reading with me at www.divinelyjennifer.com to better understand how you can use your natal chart and the current transits to support your health and well-being. So this Juicy Astrology for June 18th through June 24th, it's a big week with lots of momentous occasions. And in fact, I'm going to split June 24th up. I'll talk about some of the transits here, but the full moon is going to get her own recording because she is just so juicy. There's a lot that could be impacting our health with this full moon, and I want to make sure that I give it adequate time and attention. So with no further ado, let's get to the Juicy Astrology for June 18th through June 24th. All times listed are Pacific Daylight Time, so please adjust according to your time zone. Friday, June 18th, the waxing moon moves into generous Libra at 12:53 a.m., where she's all about beauty, relationships, fairness, justice, equity, and sharing her love. She is inspired to focus on action, service, and healing. And there are no major transits today. Saturday, June 19th, the waxing moon remains in Libra all day, where she's happy in the morning and full of collaborative ideas. The evening is a little more stressful as she makes her monthly T-square, one of two monthly T-squares, I should say, with Aries and Pluto. The other one happens when she's in Cancer. There may be scraps with relationships or finances, and scrapes too. Scrapes could just be a little wonky. Can you find balance between being generous and only spending what you have to give, whether that's your time, money, or energy? Retrograde Pluto in Capricorn sextiles Pallas Athena in Pisces at 11:21 a.m. They're both at 26 degrees, 12 minutes. This is a calm and lovely moment to strategize how to fully step into your power as you undergo the transformations needed for you to rise. Get creative about how you deal with authorities overstepping their boundaries. Does it involve negotiation and diplomacy, or are you going to have to fight for it and just lay down the law? This is my boundary. You stay there. I stay here. Thank you so much. Sunday, June 20th. Happy Father's Day to all of the human, animal, and plant fathers out there, and a very special message of love to my own father, who is 88 years young and has taught me so much about life, especially helping me hone my speaking and debate skills and affirming the superiority of natural remedies over conventional ones. I love you, Dad. Seriously, my dad is pretty awesome, and I'm a very lucky daughter. Today, June 20th, is a big day in the skies. The waxing moon in Libra goes void at 3:51 a.m. with a juicy trine to the sun in Gemini. Speak truth to love, whether lying on the grass or sharing a pillow with your sweetheart. She moves into Scorpio at 4:57 a.m., where she is secretive, intuitive, mysterious, clever, and passionate. There could be some dissonance when she squares Mars in Leo at 2:29 p.m. Mars in Leo wears his heart on his sleeve, but Scorpio moon isn't ready to reveal her feelings just yet. Be patient. Jupiter stations retrograde at 8:04 a.m. at 2 degrees 11 minutes of Pisces. It's been so lovely to have the big benevolent friend in Pisces these last 5 weeks. But alas, his work in Aquarius is not yet finished. We'll have a chance to enjoy his creative and psychic offerings in Pisces until July 28th, when he moves back into community-oriented Aquarius through December 28th, and then he'll move back into Pisces. His retrograde through October 18th will ask us to reevaluate some bigger aspects of our lives, and he'll eventually be opposed by Venus, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun in July and August, before receiving their juicy, yummy trines in September and October. Jupiter reminds us that being generous and gracious is always a good thing. And at 8:32 p.m., the Sun enters Cancer. This is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Solstices and equinoxes always have us shifting from a mutable, like a changeable, to a cardinal sign, heralding the start to a new season, new energies, new projects, and new opportunities. Gemini was talkative, multitasking, social, full of smoke and mirrors with the squares to Neptune in Pisces, and then Mercury retrograde has added more confusion to the mix. Oh, and don't forget the nodes and the eclipses. It has been hard to find our equilibrium this spring. As the sun moves into Cancer, we start to allow ourselves to feel what we didn't or couldn't feel in Gemini season. Cancer is about water, feelings, land, home, nurturing, parents, and ancestors. Water soothes the heat of the summer season in the northern hemisphere and brings needed precipitation to the southern hemisphere as they enter their darker, wintry season. And I'm going to talk a lot more about water in the full moon reading. Instead of going big and bold as the spring equinox in Aries encouraged us, this solstice asks us to tend to our own garden first, with as much love and care as possible. On the surface, this doesn't really feel like a celebratory summer solstice, dancing in the field with bonfires, surrounded by gorgeous blossoms of St. John's wort, and enjoying a warm summer evening with friends and family. There is still a lot of uncertainty in the sky. The chart of this solstice contains a hammer of Thor between the moon in Scorpio, square Mars in Leo, pointing to Neptune in Pisces. The moon in Scorpio knows that there are secrets yet to be revealed, especially with Mercury still retrograde in Gemini for a few days, and assures us to keep relying on our intuition to see past illusions, and delusions. The conventional status quo wants to condition the intuition out of us using fear tactics. And they try to do this from a very young age. But right now, Mars in Leo is definitely not afraid. Have courage, beauties. There is so much remaining to be revealed in the coming months. And with 3 outer planets, Pluto, Saturn, and now Jupiter this morning, also retrograde, we are accountable first and foremost to our inner truth and moral compass. And very shortly, we're going to be having Chiron station retrograde, Aries station retrograde, and eventually Uranus is also going to station retrograde, and Neptune too. That's all happening very soon. The solution to all the uncertainty out there, which can feel toxic and frankly contagious, is to be certain in your own heart and soul what is right for you. So many people I've talked to lately are afraid to commit to anything these days because we've been conditioned over the last year not to get attached to our plans. And then we can also get caught up in other people's uncertainty. Well, if they're not going to go, then I don't know if I should go, but they don't know what they want, No, you have to know in your own heart and soul what is right for you. Get into nature and ground into Mother Earth to help you tap into your roots, preferably standing barefoot in a cool creek, a gentle river, or the edge of the ocean. There are few sensations more delightful in life than to feel your toes sink into the sand as the ripples of ocean caress your feet. Personally, I'm grateful for the changes we're seeing in our world because it means that those who choose to are moving closer to a world with love as the foundation. Cancer in a nutshell. So keep building your foundations and tending to your roots with love. Monday, June 21st. The waxing moon stays in mysterious Scorpio all day. Now, it's one thing to fantasize about taking revenge, but keep it in your dream life so you can focus on a secret passion to bring your healing, occult, original medicine to the world. The moon goes void with a sextile to Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio, at 11:43 p.m. They're both at 26 degrees 9 minutes. This is a wonderful moment to create a solstice intention to step into your power and be the authority of you, even if it means some transformation on your part. Venus in Cancer trines Neptune in Pisces at 6:57 a.m. They're both at 23 degrees 11 minutes. This is such a beautiful, watery, pleasurable moment. For those of you on the west coast of the U.S., if you can possibly turn off, or North America, if you can, or South America for that matter, if you can possibly turn off your alarm and stay in bed with your honey, or take a bath with them, or swim naked in the early morning, by all means do so. Love, dreams, intuition, and pleasure at home are the signatures of this transit. Tuesday, June 22nd. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. That's right. It is yours truly's birthday. I've now done 50 rotations around the sun. My dear sweet friend Lee Irwin, who I have just interviewed for Divinely Inspired, so stay tuned, has taught me that to step into my power as I age with grace and to know that it only keeps getting better and better. So thank you, Lee, for that beautiful message of grace in aging. Today, the waxing moon moves into Sagittarius at 5:55 a.m. She remains passionate and becomes optimistic, takes a world view, is restless to travel. She's philosophical, spiritual, loves astrology. Wink, wink, wink. So it's an awesome time to book a reading for yourself at www.divinelyjennifer.com, I'm just saying, and has a desire to teach and or study. Today, Venus in Cancer squares Eris and Aries at 1:06 p.m. They're both at 24 degrees 43 minutes. Aries is not interested in homemade lemonade, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies so warm that the chocolate is still melting, or reading a story to the children in the garden. There is some potential for arguments with this transit, but more likely I see a resolution of bad feelings that have been brewing for the last several weeks. Venus now takes her place in the same T-square with Eris and Pluto that Mars faced in early June, except Venus brings a deep, maternal, nurturing love that Mars cannot access. The Sun and Mercury will form the same T-square with Eris and Pluto, so the Sun is going to do it July 16, 17, and Mercury is going to do it July 25th. The peace is temporary, but don't worry, especially July 25th, all bets are off, but then it will return. Mercury stations direct, yay, at 3 p.m. at 16 degrees, 7 minutes, and 37 seconds of Gemini. Finally, phew. Let's give a shout out to the end of one of the most intense and challenging Mercury retrogrades in years. especially with the solar eclipse on June 10th. The sheer amount of revisiting, revising, reviewing, returning, recalculating, and rewriting has made many of us question our path, not to mention our sanity, though indeed a little or a lot of fine-tuning can always be helpful so long as we don't overdo it. I expect some much desired clarity with communication. I'm hoping for some reveals and revelations through early July as Mercury transits for the third time from 16 degrees, 7 minutes, 37 seconds back to 24 degrees, 43 minutes, and 1 second of Gemini. If you have anything in your natal chart between these degrees in Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, you may feel it more intensely. And yes, Rachel and Noosa, this probably is why you've been in the thick of moving unexpectedly, because Mercury retrograde has been stirring up the hornet's nest in your fourth house of home. The bright side is Mercury really wants you to be in the perfect spot. So call on him for inspiration and help him get rid of the shit you really don't need anymore, especially the junk drawer. And Rachel knows, we know that that's where Rachel's chart is because she's had a reading with me. She's a smart woman and she's really cool and amazing. And one day I will also be interviewing her on Divinely Inspired for sure. Wednesday, June 23rd is also a pretty big day. The waxing moon in Sag starts off the day with loving, committed energy until she opposes Mercury in Gemini at 7:50 a.m. Now, this is the moon's first transit with Mercury since Mercury stationed direct. And Mercury has a lot to say. In fact, you might just be saying to people, yeah, can you just talk less, talk quieter? Just give me time to process, please. She goes void at 7:08 p.m. with a square to Neptune in Pisces. She feels a little off kilter, a vague, dreamy discomfort that she can't quite put her finger on. She's intuitive and emotional, which is not a bad thing. Being emotional is not a bad thing. She's just feeling into her emotions. There could be a little unfocused anger mixed in as well. As the moon is currently ruling both the sun and Venus in Cancer right now, there could also be some wounded feelings. Focus on the light. Jupiter is a gorgeous star to focus on in the night sky right now, and the moon should appear full this evening. It should just be beautiful out there. Today, the sun in Cancer trines retrograde Jupiter in Pisces at 3:11 a.m. They're both at 2 degrees, 10 minutes. Feel the feels, cry tears of joy and love, hug your people, get creative about how you show your deep love for the people who mean the most to you, whether they're related by blood or by spirit. Be generous with your love and your light. We also have retrograde Saturn in Aquarius, sextile retrograde Juno in Sagittarius at 4:20 a.m. They're both at 12 degrees, 45 minutes. Commit to or reevaluate your committed partnerships and community relationships. It is really hard for others when we say we are committed, but it's not reflected in our actions. Commitments do get an extra boost of encouragement today because you do have the bandwidth to give 100% to the right relationships. You just may want to reevaluate the relationships that aren't right. And then today, Venus in Cancer opposes retrograde Pluto in Cancer at 4:39 p.m. They're both at 26 degrees and 6 minutes of their signs. Power dynamics, transformation in relationships, and finances get highlighted here. There are still a lot of polarities out there in the world. They're going to be there for a while. And these polarities get reflected in our home lives. You can still love people for their fears, but you don't have to carry those burdens for them. Be careful not to get sucked into anyone's relationship or financial drama. It doesn't belong to you. You do you, they can do them. No one can take your power away from you, even if it seems that way sometimes. And then finally today, retrograde Saturn in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Pisces at 9:28 p.m. They're both at 12 degrees, 43 minutes. This is the second of 3 sextiles for them in 2021. The first one was on February 9th, and the last one will be November 26th. This helps to heal whatever stings, ills, or setbacks you experienced on June 14th when Saturn squared Uranus for the second time. I know a lot of people who had major health issues come up on June 13, 14, 15, right around the time of that square. It was very intense because Uranus is jolting, shocking, and you're like, what the heck just happened? So Saturn is asking us to take responsibility for healing our wounds. He's preaching tough love. The only person responsible for your suffering is you. This might sound bold, but it means that you can heal the minute you decide not to be the victim anymore, especially after the Venus-Pluto opposition. And here I'm really talking a lot more about the emotional wounds than I am the physical, although I do know some people who kind of get stuck where their identity is all about that physical wounding over and over, and it's part of who they are, and that they carry that wound with them just like Chiron. And this is an opportunity to say, I'm healing. Even if the wound doesn't go away, you can still heal the wound. And fascinating too is every single one of these sextiles happens within a week, or this one is 9 days of the Saturn square Uranus transit. So this Saturn sextile Chiron is very much there to heal, to help us heal, to commit to our healing, to help us figure out the structures around our healing, as well as the way we mentor and heal others. And I've said this before, but we cannot rescue other people anymore. The world doesn't work that way. We can only be responsible for ourselves. And then finally, June 24th, Thursday, June 24th, the waxing moon enters Capricorn at 6:04 a.m. She is stoic. It's so different from the Sagittarius energy. She's stoic, she's pragmatic, she's hardworking, she's dedicated. She goes right into it, just dives right in. And she can be a little cold emotionally. She's in her detriment in Cancer, but is also, with the energy today, encouraged by the sun in Cancer, who makes her feel bold and beautiful in the sky. Now, while the moon is still void in Sagittarius, Venus in Cancer trines Pallas Athena in Pisces at 4:30 a.m. They're both at 26 degrees, 42 minutes. The love goddess gets together with the goddess of wisdom and strategy to help you love up your internal and external home. When we love ourselves generously, we can love others more generously. This transit offers us creative strategies for home, decorating, finding a new home, Miss Rachel, nourishing the garden, and honoring Mother Earth. And I'm going to talk a lot more about honoring Mother Earth in the full moon recording. Draw up your plans and feel abundant. Venus will help make it happen. Visualize, strategize, and maybe compromise a little too. I mean, is it fair for you to have a meditation room and your guy doesn't get his man cave? No, like you guys, everyone needs their space a little bit, so there might have to be a little compromise with that. Okay, beauties, that has been the very juicy astrology for June 18th through June 24th, 2021, not including the oh so juicy full moon on June 24th. It is going to be pretty intense, so I want to make sure that I dedicate an entire recording to her beauty and amazingness. And it's going to have quite an impact on us health-wise. So I want to make sure that I get everything covered for that. So stay tuned, look in your inbox. If you are not on my mailing list, why not? Love. Go right to my website at www.divinelyjennifer.com and sign up with your email so you can make sure that you are the very first person to receive the emails that have the recordings in them. And they link right to my blog, to YouTube, and SoundCloud. In the meantime, you are always welcome to book a reading at www.divinelyjennifer.com as well. And As always, if you'd like a copy of your natal chart, please send me an email at hello@divinelyjennifer.com. Although personally, I think it's better to have a reading so that you can have a really clear understanding of your chart and understand how to best support your health with the way the cosmos is arranged in your beautiful, individual, customized, divine blueprint that you came onto this planet with. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will be back the next time. Sending you so much love. I'm Divinely Jennifer.